All right, we're live. And because it's a holiday today, it's a public holiday in the United States, I can go live in the middle of the office. So there's our view, that's downtown LA. And I wanted to talk about the Fyre Festival because I just watched a documentary on Netflix, and there's a lot of good business and marketing lessons that you can take away from the Fyre Festival. So, you know, I used to go to a lot of music festivals, and music festivals are a thing that are, I mean, they're amazing once you get it right? All the different ones that I've been to, whether it's the ones in Miami or Vegas or in LA, and then you see the big ones. And by the way, you can watch a lot of these documentaries on Netflix, like Tomorrowland, for example. Just, you know, good vibes in general, right? So, you know, if they're done well, they're incredible. They're these amazing money-making machines for the people, the event promoters. But if you do it like the way Fyre Festival did it, then, you know, what happens is a really negative result. So I'll give you a little background. For those of you that haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend watching it. So Fyre is F-Y-R-E, Fyre Festival. Hello, Ahmed. Ahmed's coming from Toronto. It's -20 and it feels like -38. So stay warm. I think it's 63 degrees Fahrenheit here in LA. Not bragging or anything. We had a lot of rain last week. But anyway, so you have two options right now. You can watch the Fyre Festival documentary on Netflix, and then you can also watch the one on Hulu. So they have two different ones, and I think Hulu actually released theirs first. And I really liked the Netflix one. I really enjoyed it, and it's just this amazing story, and I think it should become like a movie. Monica, hello from Slovenia. So good evening to you. And so, okay, what is the Fyre Festival first and foremost? So there was, basically it's this music festival that was supposed to happen. It did happen in the Bahamas, and it was marketed as this really exclusive event. And you know, they had these DJs like I think it was Major Lazer. They also had you know, bands like Blink-182 show up. So imagine you're basically partying in paradise, right? They marketed it as Pablo Escobar's island, right? And you would take jets there, and then you'd be hanging out with beautiful people, celebrities, and then you just be listening, you know, having a good time, enjoying music, right? And so they also said, like, you know, when you land there, you get on private jets, and then, you know, you had the option of buying these, like, you can stay on a boat outside, or you can have like a little private villa. And so it was just this incredible event that it was everyone was making out to be. So the founder of the Fyre Festival, his name was Billy McFarland, and then he also partnered with celebrity rapper Ja Rule, right? So, you know, you have celebrity power kind of backing. That's the first lesson right now. Like, when you are going to promote something, when you have a celebrity or an influencer backing you, it's always a big help, right? So Ja Rule, you know, took it upon himself and said, you know, this is my vision, this is my thing, we're gonna do it. And then Billy was kind of the mastermind, kind of whiz kid behind it, right? And everyone thought Billy was this, you know, really genuine guy, really nice guy. You know, you would take Billy to kind of meet your parents, right? So what happened was, literally watched it an hour ago. Puneet watched it an hour ago. Hope you enjoyed it. Ja Rule and Ashanti. So yeah, okay. So not only that, he not only got Ja Rule, but what happened was he got celebrities, like he got models. I think he even got Kylie Jenner to help promote this thing, right? So they all went to the Bahamas to do a shoot, and it was like, you know, they had all the models hanging out. It seemed like it was an amazing time. The video was amazing. It was marketed as this incredible thing, right? And so when you have really good marketing like that, you have influencers in this video, and then they're promoting it on Facebook, they're promoting on Instagram. Of course it's gonna do well. Everyone wants to go there, right? I forgot I think maybe one of the models' names was like Gigi Hadid or something like that. I don't know all the models' names, but you have people like Kylie Jenner promoting it, and then they also threw it up on Instagram too. So there's this hype effect going on where everyone was posting like this orange square and saying, you know, talking about the Fyre Festival. So this hype started to generate, right? So the marketing video was done really well. They got the right influencers in place, right? They got an influencer that was the partner, right? And so what could possibly go wrong at this point, right? So that's one of the things. So they had amazing celebrities, amazing influencers, and then what happened was people started to, they also had an amazing team working on this. So the back end of all this, so this is a business lesson right here, they wanted to do the Fyre Festival first and foremost because they wanted to use a music festival as a funnel into their app. Their app was basically, which is a smart idea, by the way, the app was a really smart idea to help people book influencers or celebrities to their events, right? There's no app out there where you can just basically say, you can swipe on like Tinder and say, I want to have this person come to my party or whatever, and then, you know, they'll kind of, it's basically like a booking app, right? And there's nothing out there like it. So the idea was really novel, and had really smart people working on the product. So then what happened was, they're like, okay, how do we get people actually to use this product? They came up with the idea of the Fyre Festival. So the ideas, all of them were really good, right? You had really good marketing, you had a really good app idea, you had a really good festival idea. So then what happens? Well, what happened was the festival actually didn't work out, because what happened was, this is one of the business lessons too, when you are working on an app, you have a product team, and you decide to go through a music festival and you decide to focus all your efforts over there, what happens? You start to split your focus, right? And then what happens is you can't do a really good job. Good morning, Manav. I'm surprised it's a little later for you right now, but thank you for joining. So that's what happens, right? When you split your focus, you don't do a good job. So you have really good marketing, that's important, but when you split your focus, you're not gonna do a good job. Also at the same time, if you claim to do things that you can't do and you can't deliver on the final product, which is the music festival, and you are responsible to a button, like we're talking hundreds or thousands of people. Hello, Isaac, good afternoon. What's gonna happen? People are gonna get hurt, right? People, like, what happened with the Fyre Festival was, coming up to the event, people are like, this is gonna be a disaster. There's no way this is gonna work, we should cancel it, da-da-da. And then Billy, the CEO, is like, no, we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it, right? And I think it's good to have that vision. It's good to push through when it's tough times, but it's also important to be realistic when you know that if you're gonna throw an event, you're gonna hurt people, okay? And so, nobody got killed or anything like that, but basically, people showed up to the event. There was, you know, they basically scammed people. It was no longer Pablo Escobar's island, because the people that said they can use Pablo Escobar's island said you cannot market it as Pablo Escobar's island, right? Where there's like, you know, there's literally like planes in the water, right? You know, when they use the planes to kind of transport like the drugs. And they literally didn't listen, and they did that. So important thing too, if you're gonna partner with somebody else, you gotta respect the other person too. And so once they market it as Pablo Escobar's island, they're like, the deal's off, you can't do it on our island anymore. So they had to move to a crappier area where it was basically like an industrial, like, it was sandy, it didn't even look like a beach. It wasn't even done that way, right? Blue, I'm happy to answer your question maybe another time around major blog to run Facebook ads. But going back to the Fyre Festival, okay, what happened was, they didn't have the villas that they promised people. They're selling these villas for like maybe, you know, $2,500, $5,000, $250,000, right? And people were willingly paying this money. But what happened was, there were no boats, there was no villas. What they had were these white tents, right? And the white tents maybe had like 2 mattresses in them. And then what happened, and by the way, this is kind of funny, it's sad at the same time, but what happened is when people showed up, they didn't have enough tents for people. So when you don't have kind of the basic human needs, Maslow's hierarchy, you don't have, let's see, you don't have food, you don't have water, you don't have shelter, people start to get barbaric, right? So when you're watching a Netflix documentary on the Fyre Festival, it's just called Fyre, people are running around, it almost becomes like a apocalyptic scenario where it's everyone for themselves, you know. People had to, like, just to kind of protect themselves, they didn't want to stay in tents around them. They just, like, you know, ransacked the other tents and peed on them. Ahmed said, what was the selling point of, so the selling point was Pablo Escobar's island. So that was just one marketing item, you know, Pablo Escobar's island. And it's cool, right? It's like, oh, you know, we're gonna party with celebrities, we're gonna listen to these amazing DJs and bands, and sorry, I was about to sneeze. But when you say it's Pablo Escobar's island, and you say you're gonna fly in on a private jet, people want exclusivity, right? They want to say, oh, I was there, I was at the inaugural Fyre Festival event, you know, we get to hang out with celebrities like, you know, Kylie Jenner and all that, but these people weren't even there in the first place. They were just in the video. And someone at the very end of the documentary, he was just like, the Fyre Festival did happen. It only happened for 60 people. It was when they were shooting the kind of the marketing promotion stuff, right? Other than that, it was a complete disaster. And you can see in the video, people are just like, and I recommend watching it. There's like, nothing can replace watching it. Like, I'm talking about it right now. Hopefully this will get you to watch it. But people didn't have enough water. And like, hey, Gary Chunk, how's it going? And one guy tweeted the food that they were eating, right? The food that they were eating, Manav says, what blogs do you read and videos you watch? But what Manav watched the Fyre Festival documentary. So one guy tweeted, he's like, this is the gourmet food that we got to eat. And it was literally a piece of wheat bread, and there was cheese on top of it, and that was kind of their gourmet meal, right? And so all the people that showed up, they basically got scammed, and they couldn't get out. They couldn't get flights out. They're basically stuck there, right? No food, no water, stuck there. They had to sleep in the tents, and it was a disaster. Like, everyone for themselves, everyone was running for the tents. It was a first come, first serve. And it was, I felt sad, and I didn't even know what I would do in that scenario where it's like everyone for themselves, right? And it was also a scam when they arrived too, because they didn't know what to do. Like the event planners, they're like, you know what? We're gonna send them all to a bar for 6 hours and get them all drunk. And people started getting confused, and they started realizing what was going on, and they started realizing, man, this is not what this is not what it was meant to be. And then so, you know, the bands like Blink-182, you know, they canceled. And, you know, Major Lazer, I think he canceled. Basically all the DJs canceled, and the event was, once it started reaching like social media, it started to blow up. And what happened was, here's another business lesson. You can't just, like, when you market something a certain way and you don't deliver on it, it's false advertising, and people are gonna catch you, and it's gonna blow up on social media, and you're gonna get major blowback. So not thinking about the consequences, like if you're gonna do something this way and you don't think about the consequences, that's a business lesson, right? There's always, you know, you gotta have second order and third order thinking. If you're not thinking about, okay, if I do something this way, what are the possible negative effects? What are the consequences that will happen if I do it that way? So Billy, by the way, really smart guy. Here's another business and marketing lesson. It's like, if you're such a smart guy, and he's a really smart guy, like, it takes a smart guy to like figure all this stuff out and mastermind all this stuff. But if you're a really smart guy, you might as well just do the right thing, right? Do the right thing, do it the right way. And if you're gonna do it like, okay, let's go from his perspective. If you're gonna do things where it might harm people, like mentally and even physically, then like, think smart about it. Like, look at all the drug lords. I'm not advocating this, by the way, but like, think smart. So he didn't think smart for himself, but then it's like, okay, it's easier to me, like for someone like me, it's easier to do something the right way, because if you do something the right way, what's gonna happen? Well, you're not gonna really get in trouble for it, and you're gonna continue to get better and better. If you do things the wrong way, you defraud people. Warren Buffett said, like, what? It takes a lifetime to build up a reputation. It takes a few minutes to destroy it, right? And that's exactly what he did. And not only that, I'm not going to talk about the complete story. I recommend you guys watch a documentary. But not only that, at the very end, where he realizes that he might actually go to prison, it didn't seem like he had any remorse at all. And he started defrauding. So he took all the emails that he had from the Fyre Festival, like the attendees, right? And he got someone else, to do his bidding, to market these really exclusive tickets, right? So he's preying on human psychology, where he knows human beings, we crave to have status, we crave to be in exclusive groups, right? So he did that with Fyre Festival first and foremost. But even when he realized the house of cards was falling down, he might go to prison, you know what he did? He said, okay, I'm gonna take that entire email list, I'm gonna hire a guy off the street, maybe not off the street, but I'm gonna hire some guy, I'm gonna tell him to email a bunch of people. So what he started doing afterwards was he started saying, okay, let's say I email you, Manav. I say, Manav, you know, I'd like to invite you to this exclusive event. This is a gala event in New York. Nobody else can get in. Really exclusive tickets. It's $100,000 per ticket. Let me know if you want in, and you can call this number. And no joke, this guy would actually sell 15 of those tickets, right? So, my God, 15 of those tickets, that's $1.5 million, right? And so, not only that, he would always like say, okay, you can get tickets to this exclusive Super Bowl event, this exclusive event over here. So he continued to defraud people. So he didn't learn his lesson. That's a business lesson, right? So the business lesson here is that you gotta learn from your mistakes. If you don't learn from your mistakes, you're gonna be in trouble, right? And what we're gonna do after is, if you guys would actually like us to kind of make this into a long form blog post, because I have more to say about this, but this is like a short live video. Just type in long into the comments, just L-O-N-G if you'd like to see that, and we'll go ahead and do that. And so those are just a couple business and marketing lessons. But by the way, I'm gonna go back to it. Like, if you look at the Fyre Festival like marketing videos, it was done really well. The influencer campaigns were done really well. Who they hired to put this together was done really well too. They hired the best of the best. They hired like, what was that social media? Well, I can't say that the name of it, but it's F Jerry. And so they hired them to do the social media. They hired a bunch of event planners. They hired the best of the best in the industry, and got them to do their bidding. So they sold them. They had a really good vision. They sold people on the vision. They did marketing really, really well. Just at the very end, they couldn't deliver, and they wouldn't learn from their mistakes, right? So I think it's really important. Like when you look at Billy partnering up with a celebrity, that was more so just to leverage the celebrity. I think if you're gonna partner with somebody, if Billy was a visionary and he partnered with somebody maybe that was a little more ethical, I think they could have done something amazing, and the event probably would have gone really well, and they would be doing much different things now. But you know, they also defrauded investors too. They told investors, they're like, you know, oh, the company's doing $26 million turnover, when in fact maybe they turn over about $1 million or so. Or I think I read in a statement they turn around about $60,000. So don't defraud people. People are much smarter than you think. Just do the right thing. So that is it for today. I just want to talk about what you can learn from the Fyre Festival because it's still kind of fresh, you know, top of mind for me, and I think there's a lot of good business and marketing lessons you can learn, and I probably might rewatch it too, just because even after the event, like the fact that people are doing documentaries on it, it's still marketing for him, right? He's in prison right now, but look, at the end of the day, like you're gonna get destroyed. Like I think he had to move back in with his parents because he literally lost everything. And by the way, here's another business lesson: don't live above your means. This guy was spending, got a penthouse up in New York. Just, you know, keep an eye on your expenses. I'm not saying like, look, you work hard to spend, right? But don't spend above your means, otherwise you're gonna get caught. Yes, Manav, it is a Netflix documentary. They also have one on Hulu as well. So the one on Hulu is called Fyre Festival, I think. And then the one on Netflix is just called Fyre, so it's Fyre. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this, and I will see you in the next live.